So again, good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the weekly WAVE calls. We do have some pretty important information to get over to you today, and I'll get right into it. So first off, we'll talk about reports. There's only one report that is open in the WAVE right now, and that is the graduation part-time quarter 2 report. That's currently open and will be closing on the 31st of January. If you do have questions about that, our counseling office will be your best bet. The specific person you want to contact is Petra Woodard, and we can put her email or office phone number in the chat here at the end if you do have specific questions about that report. Again, this graduation part-time quarter 2 report is open. And we'll be closing at the end of the month. And if you do have questions about that, if you need to submit it or what students you're needing to manually enter into that report, Petra Woodard is going to be your best point of contact for that. We have had questions about the 1920 dropout report. That report is still in the works. It will be open this month, and training will be available before that report ever opens. So you'll know exactly where to go, what changes are occurring since this report will be in the WAVE now instead of a standalone single sign-on report. We'll make sure that you know everything that you do need to know about the 1920 dropout report before the end of the month, and we'll have that information sent out to you guys through our normal listserv or through the Tuesday Engage OK newsletters. So just be on the lookout for that. We'll make sure to put a notice on the WAVE homepage when all of that does become available, just so if you aren't subscribed to either newsletter, you're not missing that information. So for those of you who've had counselors asking, where is this report? It is not open right now anywhere in single sign-on or the WAVE, but once it is open, it will be in the state reporting certification section of the WAVE, just where every other report is as well. So again, we'll make sure to let you all know when we have a solid date on when that will be opening and get you all of the pertinent information that you need for this report then. So moving on to the meat and butter of this call today is STNs. We've gotten a lot of contact about this over the last week or so, and rightfully so. So a lot of you on this call are more than likely missing some student STNs for your newly enrolled students around Christmas time, or even in some cases, we are seeing some STN resolution requests back from the beginning of the year. So one or the other, you may be missing STNs for either your newly enrolled students or say students that have entered into your school at one point in the year, may have left and never got an STN while they were with you. So why are you missing STNs? On January 8th, for those of you who do have access to the STN wizard in the WAVE, you might have noticed that blurb that we have there, basically letting you know that we've turned off the STN wizard in the WAVE to apply some updates. And those updates are, we are shifting away from the old STN wizard in the WAVE into a new application. Now, before you get a little freaked out about that, the new application should be much easier for you to navigate and use. And it does allow for better matching, and I'll get into that in just a second. So essentially, long and short is, the reason why you're missing STNs is because we had to turn off the old STN wizard in the WAVE in order to bring online the new STN wizard application that'll live in single sign-on and not the WAVE. We have mentioned in previous calls that we are in the middle of revamping the WAVE as it stands. And that means we will be updating all of our applications and look and feel and whatnot to bring the wave kind of up into the 21st century and make the experience navigating it a lot more user-friendly and a lot more clear on, what's going on and where things are. So when can you get back into the STN Wizard? I will let you know after I show you guys our new system. You will be able to get onto the new STN Wizard this week, but we want to make sure that we had enough documentation available for you. So if there are users that are new to the STN Wizard, that they know exactly what's to come or how to navigate it or to answer any questions that they might have. So going forward, the new system will look like this. When you get into it, and to back up here, like I said, the new STN Wizard will be a standalone application. It will not be in the Wave as it is right now. So just like the new ownership wizard that we rolled out a few months ago, the STN Wizard will be just the same. When you go when you sign into single sign-on, you'll see a new application called Oklahoma Student Testing Number with STN. You'll see Oklahoma State Testing Number STN system in your list of applications. When you click on that, you'll get to this screen, and you will not see 1,917 pending resolutions. You'll see the number of pending resolutions for your district, or if you only have site access for your site. And when you click pending resolutions, you will then see this screen. Now, the screen does not have any PII on it, so if you're just wary of that, just know that this is all fake data, so don't worry about that. So anyway, you'll see your list of pending resolutions, and all that means is you'll see a list of students who could not be automatically assigned an STN by our STN assignment process. Now, students are either automatically assigned an STN or their record is associated with a previously held STN. And any students that are in this new STN system are those that, like I just said, could not be automatically assigned a new STN, or their record could not be associated with a record that already has an STN. Say they came they're re-enrolling in a site that they were at previously. So you'll see a list of students here that need some sort of resolution, either getting a new STN created or resolving to a existing STN. So you'll pick a student by clicking the select button here on the left. And when you go through there, if it'll change slides here, same slide twice, you will see this screen here. And this is going to be very similar to what you all with access in the Wave would see here. You'll see on the left-hand side, the student that you just selected on the previous screen. So the student here, you would then see on, you'll see that student that you selected on the previous screen here on the left. And you'll see all of their demographic information as well as the date that they entered into the STN system. So what you're doing here is you're matching the student on the left to any possible matches on the right-hand side of the screen. Now, if you select this little caret here that's to the left of select, it'll bring up more information about the student. It'll bring up contact information. Then that contact information is related to the parent or guardian. That should help you match a little bit better if you say have a student with very similar names, but the only difference would be, say, a parental contact or a date of birth or something like that. So that information is just there to help you make a better match. But what you're wanting to do in order to create a new STN or resolve to an existing STN is by clicking this select button here. And what I'm about to show you is going to be the biggest difference between this new system and the old STN wizard. And I will give you guys a second just to look at this, but again, these slides and this video will be posted very soon after we are done with this call. So I'll just explain what you're seeing here. So again, like I said earlier, you're wanting to get the student that does not have an STN and STN. So you're seeing here on the left, the student that you originally selected that does not have an STN. And then you're seeing the information about this student that you selected in the previous screen here. And what you're doing right now is just matching that demographic information to make sure, okay, these are the exact same students. They should have the same STN. And that is where you'll click this use this STN button. All this will do is go for this requested data. They should use the existing, and you see UID, it should say STN. You will associate the requested data here with the existing information. So in your student information system, you'll see the STN that you just said to use. The other button here that you're seeing, the use this STN and alias button, allows for our system to make better matches. The process is going to be the exact same. You'll still use that same STN that you're saying to use. But here, if you notice, there's a difference in the full name of that student. So what that's doing is, on our side, we're making a record essentially that says, all right, if we ever get John Doe's information from this particular school, 23K, any matches that'll show up will then also have Jonathan Doe. So this student should have a better score essentially when they pop up in the matching records here. You're not going to be updating their demographic information in your student information system. The only thing that you're doing is flagging for SDE to say, the next time this record comes up, don't show just John Doe, please show Jonathan Doe for that student. So this will help us out if a student has had a, say, name change or something like that. Or if for whatever reason, the requested information that's coming up to the state from your student information system is, say, missing a middle name or something like that, we can just make sure to say these are the same students and they do have differing demographic information, but they are the same student. And the next time we ever see that requested data, we will always show the alias that you made. So John Doe will always be Jonathan Doe going forward when we are trying to make a match to that student. So depending on if you chose the use this STN button or use this STN and alias button, you will get to this screen here.
Hey, go back on the screen just so they can see the answer that I just wrote. Sorry. So the request data is that column right there, the request data, that's the data that we just got from you, essentially. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. So again, you'll see this confirmation screen that'll tell you for whichever student that you selected originally that their information is now resolved to whichever STN that you picked. This date that you're seeing here on the left or the right-hand side is the same date that you saw here under submitted data. This again is just the date that their information, the information coming from your student information system, entered into the new STN wizard system. You don't necessarily need to worry about that date. It'll just help you if you're trying to resolve students who've been in the system for a little bit. So like I said, we will have an FAQ document available later on today. And we have migrated all the users that have had access to the old STN wizard in the Wave to this new version. So as soon as we make this public, anybody who had access to the old STN Wizard will see this new application in their list of apps that they have access to. If you do not, the process is going to be the exact same as if you needed to assign a new role to a user. So your district superintendent, or if you've got a single sign-on admin, those are going to be the first point of contacts that you want to reach out to. If you don't have this list or this application available to you, again, users who have had access to the old application will have access to this new app on Friday morning. We do understand that we have, and Eric's already mentioned that, so I'm not going to cover that. I know that there have been some hiccups with, getting students into EdPlan, because in order to get into EdPlan, the student must have an STN assigned to them. And even if you had a STN from a previous school district or anything like that, or if your student information system vendor for some reason allows you to enter those STNs into your system, it has to still be assigned by our system to make sure that everything reporting wise goes smoothly. So hopefully this new system will be easier for those of you who have been in here. It'll go smoother. And again, this will be open if you're somebody who works very late Thursday evening, but for the large majority of you, when you get into the office or get online on Friday morning, you will be ready to go with no delay.
Couple things I'd like to mention. For security reasons, I would like to tell you that if you give someone access to the pending resolution or to this application, and they have access to pending resolutions, they can do those resolutions. There is not a view-only version of this. So if you or your superintendent gets access to someone in your district, they can actually do all of these resolutions. In a lot of cases, that's great, but in some cases, you may not actually be wanting for them to be able to do resolutions, but be able to see them, sort of see the issues and do the research. I just want you to understand that if they have access to pending resolutions, which is one of the pieces in this app, the one you'll see, it will be they will be able to do those resolutions. And Linda asked if the contact last and first names will be there. That kind of depends. So they will always be there if we have the student contact data in the database when the demographic data goes into the STN assignment process. So if we have a record that is connected to that student personal record, then yes, it will go in there. There are some times where we get the student contact data after the fact. And then there's sometimes we get student contact data that doesn't have a first name or last name. So when it's there, it will be populated. When it's not, when we don't have it on the initial load of that particular student through the STN process, it won't. That's the best way I can explain it. And again, I am so sorry for the EdPlan issues. Honestly, we started this as break started for Christmas, and we decided we were going to do this over the Christmas break so nobody would be affected. We had all good intentions to have it back up and running before the break ended. Some things just happened, unfortunately, that it's caused this rollout to go a little longer than expected. And I think some of those things were to make your lives easier, because when we got it in place, there were some things I thought were going to be too difficult or too much of an ask or too much of a burden on you guys, that I just said, we've got to fix some of this stuff. And Lakeisha agreed with me, and we're making the developer fix those things. So I'm done for now. Oh, you said it will be open Friday. So yes, we will be releasing it tomorrow morning. And so there's that.
Thank you, Eric. One thing I did not mention with all of this, because of the timing of us taking down the old STN Wizard and the Wave on January 8th, and now between the 21st and January 8th, you may see some students that you have already, you're 100% sure you've already resolved that student. But you are still not seeing that student's STN in your student information system. That is one of the main reasons why we took down the STN Wizard. So if you are, when this opens on Friday, and you go into the application, there may be, maybe if you've had a lot, maybe a handful of students that you may have to redo. And this is just so this occurred mainly because we wanted to make sure that we did not have two essentially systems, two STN systems assigning or making updates to students' information. So going forward, you should be good to go, but I just want to put that caveat in there for those of you who are in this a lot. If you are seeing students that you're pretty much 100% sure that you've already taken care of assigning a new STN or associating with an existing STN, do make sure that you are going back in there and essentially redoing that work. We did try very hard to consolidate the work that was done right before we shut this down, the old application, and unfortunately, we were not able to recover that information. So they just wanted to make that very clear that do make sure that you are clearing out any student that is showing up in this new STN system. Those are valid and accurate things we do need to have resolved at your district or site.
So those should only be, like anything that you're redoing should only be anything you've done after the 21st of December. And I don't remember when we shut off the STN Wizard. Was it last Friday?
January 8th, yeah, last Friday.
Yeah. So, so anything you did between the 4th basically and the 8th may have to be redone. But it shouldn't be a lot, I'm hoping. If it is, I apologize.
All right. Well, that was actually my last slide for today. Like I said, we will be making that guide I mentioned available to everybody here very soon. It'll be on our website under documents and guides. And we will make sure to send out an email through our listserv as soon as we know that the new application is public facing for everyone. So if you do have any questions, do give us a shout either through email or through phone. We will get back to you one way or another. And I will stop the sharing here. So if there are any other questions here, we'll go ahead and answer those. Could you